Okay, I tried fixing it, but it's just gonna be upside down this time. So that's okay. We can work with this. Okay, we're back. So it's just gonna be upside down for now, but maybe I'll change it later. But let's play some music. We can get started. I'm trying to think of something that'll be good for like wrapping up. Mm, let's see. I wanted to do cafe for a second. I thought about it, but that's probably too much detail for like a last page. So I'm trying to think about this book. There was a lot of portraits, a lot of experimenting, and so maybe I can do something like that. So something I've kind of like always experimented with is um, backgrounds. So let's do a background. And there was this really cool technique that I learned. I think it was like my previous sketchbook actually, but it was kind of like just layering the backgrounds. Depending on how many layers you have, you can kind of like add detail to that. But I'm trying to think about how I can fold in portraits or kind of like a portrait. Um, so I'm thinking it may sound crazy, but it I don't know, it just might be crazy enough to work. But having a the character, like a character, maybe on like one of the forefront layers, just kind of like breaking the fourth wall, just staring at me or whoever the viewer is, and then you just have this really elaborate background. Before I like actually execute the idea, I'm gonna try maybe I should try sketching it out first because it sounds good in my head, but it might not look as cute. So hold on. I'm gonna try it from the top of my head. I'm just gonna maybe sketch it. I'll sketch it here. Doesn't gotta be perfect. So oh yeah, maybe it could work. Hold on, let me think. Have you ever seen like those movies where it kind of shows this character like in the front, and then they have to be doing something. They maybe can't just like be staring at the camera, but maybe like looking away from it, and that can be like the portrait part. Yeah, I'm thinking like something like this. There's like a person here. She doesn't have to be. This is a thumbnail sketch. It doesn't have to be perfect. Um, I don't know what she looks like, but I like drawing those bangs that kind of look like this. And if I'm drawing a background, I'm just gonna maybe assume she is definitely outside. I'm not drawing a indoor background, so I'm gonna do a ponytail. Because when you're outdoors, you know, you have to put your hair back. I don't know what she's wearing, but she's just kind of there, right? And so beside her is kind of like the first layer of the background, which will be a plant of some sort, like with huge leaves, but she's kind of pushing the leaves out of the way. But it's gonna be leaves on both sides. So huge leaves here. There's huge leaves on her side. And then that's kind of like maybe the first layer. I don't know if the idea is coming through at this point, but this is a hand. And if I'm thinking about where she is, let's say, I've been watching a lot of those build videos of people like building cabins and stuff. And so I'm like obsessed, well, right now with the idea of like building a cabin, even though I can't build cabins. But I'm gonna draw a cabin here. And that's gonna be some layer. I think the tough part about drawing, actually, I'm gonna scratch the cabin idea. Because when you add like functional structures, they have to be like, they're basically like small architect drawings. And so let's do something else. Maybe that's not a functioning cabin, but maybe something that's falling apart or broken. Last time I did like a crumbling castle. I'm trying to think of something maybe along the same lines. I can't think of it. Maybe I should just do, I'm just gonna draw the castle, just, or not a castle, but like a tower. It's like broken and falling down, and it doesn't require it to be like, you know, perfectly structured. I'm just gonna draw it to see what it looks like or if it'll give me any ideas. Yeah, it's not. So I'm gonna do a tree because that's the safe way. We're gonna go the safe way. Let's do a tree. The tree doesn't have to be a perfect tree. There's actually gonna be other trees around it. So that's background, that layered. And so we have at least 2 layers so far, and there's kind of like this idea of a third layer. And then I'll just start filling in more layers. Like after her, there's, I don't know, like a patch of grass. And then the closer you get to the tree, there's flowers, who knows? Flowers on the floor. But a little bit further away, there's more trees. That one is too close. More trees. She's not in a forest per se, but she is in an area that has a lot of trees. Okay, so that's the idea. Am I liking it? Sure. I like drawing nature and things like that. And I just want to get this over with. So we're gonna draw this, and that's gonna be our idea. So because I was just kind of sketching everything in there, there's no clear lines or anything, I'm going to look up some resources. So I'll talk a bit about like my process. I usually kind of think about all this. I mentioned this in the previous attempt at live streaming, but I usually think about like all of these things in my head, and this is super quick. I'll go through like the ideas really fast, right? But when I'm talking about it, I have to process it out loud, and sometimes the thoughts are going a lot faster than my hand, so it takes a bit, but we're getting there. What I usually do is I'll just kind of like have this image in my head. I wouldn't even thumbnail it. I'll just start sketching. And then if there's any lines that I don't like in the sketch, I'll just erase it and then draw over it. So I think when I do like a sketchbook tour of this one, you'll kind of see maybe some erase marks on some of my sketches. That's just because I don't want to thumbnail sketch it and then sketch it again. I feel like it's kind of a waste of time. But for this one, because I wanted to see like what it looked like first before I sketched across the entire page, and instead of just doing the whole thing and then erasing so much, I did the thumbnail sketch. I did a thumbnail sketch for one of the action shots earlier in this book, and it wasn't I don't know, like I'll try to do more thumbnail sketches, but sometimes I don't think it's useful. I think in this case it was a little useful, so I'll give this props here. But usually, yeah. But yeah, I'm going to start on this one, and I'm gonna just draw what I have first. But I'm gonna look up some references first, which I usually don't do, by the way. So this whole process is very different for me. So I'm ending on a high note, but it's a more complicated than usual high note. While I look up some references, hopefully it doesn't take too long. I just wanted to talk about why I'm streaming. I know a lot of people that like quickly tune in are just kind of like here for the moment, but I do publish these to my channel, and so I just wanted to talk about that just in case people that actually watch are like, what is she doing, what is going on? So I'm trying to get more comfortable drawing on camera or just kind of like in front of people, and we're starting with on camera because I went to this event and they were like, oh, live drawing. It was a live drawing artist, and I was like, I don't know how they do that, like just draw in front of all of these people. But I'm just kind of like assuming like when you're online and you're posting things online, it's just something that you have to get used to. I've always had this idea, but I think over the past few, maybe like 2 or 3 years, I've just become too comfortable I've just become too comfortable, period. And I need to get out of that. So we're gonna start here. Just putting it all out there, the whole process. Not like speed drawings. I do a lot of speed drawings, which I won't stop doing, but it kind of like tells people that like, oh, this only took maybe it didn't take that long, like, oh, she did this super quick. No, it's just it took me a lot of time, but because I sped it up, it's like, Oh, it didn't take her a lot of time. Actually, even like that small drawing I did yesterday took me over an hour. And I didn't even sketch, like, just painting it took me over an hour. And realistically, that is very common for like a lot of my paintings. And so if it's something huge, like this entire page, the one I did yesterday was like really tiny. If it's something huge, it's gonna take me much longer than an hour. So that's why, unless it's like taking up a portion of the page and I just scribbled across the rest of it. That's why I wanted to do kind of like something huge for this one. And I know for sure if I do the sketchbook, I mean, if I do the sketch today, it's gonna take me a while to paint it. So, yeah, I just need to show that, these like, though it's a sketchbook, I'm just like learning, I'm playing around with ideas and things. These little paintings, they take a long time. You can't just sit here and expect it to be one and done. It's gonna take a while. So, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just being realistic though. So, I haven't made any progress on finding uh references. I got an idea. Perfect idea. So whenever I'm searching online for references and I can't find one, I'll just take them myself. Uh, do I use it again afterwards? No, not really. But it's good for the moment. Let's see. Nope, nope, that one's terrible. Okay, this one's not bad. So I'll do this one. If you know what this plant is, let me know in the comments. I actually forgot the name of it, but I'll look it up and put it in there. We gotta come. Sasuke. Hi. Hira said hi. I can keep forgetting that I'm streaming in Japan. I wonder if I can change that. What is Sasuke mean? I'm gonna look it up. I should know, but I feel like it's similar to Sugoi. No, I might be wrong. Oh. Yeah, I'm way off, and I totally misread that. Is this a Naruto reference? Okay. I don't know what that is. Oh. This top part is kind of iffy to draw. So I'm gonna switch from reference to live. Let's see. This is usually how I do it. I just draw something, I don't know, guidelines, sketch, and then I erase it. Oh, it's getting ugly. I forgot. I was supposed to be going for cute. Okay, let's try again. Cute to me is, I don't know, limited details, I guess. Ooh, no. Almost forgot her hair. Okay. Way too small. It looked weird for some reason. So, okay, I think I see it. Hand looks a little small still, but it's okay. I need to practice drawing hands again. Oh, it's so bad. can't tell, this is the plant that I'm drawing. It's actually really tiny, but I have a few larger ones. So